Welcome to the Tony Robbins Podcast. Today we're bringing you a special episode that illuminates a cause and an organization that Tony is extremely passionate about. So passionate that he is dedicating his 60th birthday event to it as a benefit to raise funds. He and his wife Sage have been involved with this organization for a few years, but now they want to raise awareness and turn more people's attention to it. Operation Underground Railroad is a nonprofit organization that's committed to eradicating child sex trafficking through coordinated rescue missions and recovery programs. Most of the time, when somebody adopts a cause, they have a personal connection to it. You might raise money for cancer research if you've lost a parent to the disease. You may work with homeless populations if you've experienced it yourself or have a family member that has. But in Tony's case, his dedication to this cause did not come from a personal connection. He learned about Operation Underground Railroad through a woman at his Business Mastery event in 2016, who shared with the audience her goal of contributing significant funds to this organization so that even more children can be rescued. Here's Tony speaking about the moment he learned about Operation Underground Railroad.
I first heard about Operation Underground Railroad. I was doing one of my business mastery seminars for business owners from all over the world. And so we have, different buckets of finance where you put your security bucket, the things that you don't want too much risk with, where you put your risk money. And then there's a dream bucket. And in the dream bucket, I try to get people to realize that if they earn more, they can do so much more. They can have such impact in their life and their families and their friends. But I also very strongly encourage them to find some type of project of contribution, because I really believe in my soul, the secret to living is giving, corny as that may sound, that there's nothing that lights us up like giving. I've done quite a bit of research. I wrote a whole book around this. And in it, scientists now, they can test the hormonal change in your body. And giving even to a stranger creates a greater biochemical change of happiness in your body than just about anything else you can imagine, other than taking care of your own family. So I talked about this. And then people share all their things that they want to make happen. And this woman stood up and she said, I really want to help free girls that are in sexual slavery. And she said, there's a group called Underground Railroad. And she said, they're former CIA, FBI, special forces type of guys. And they don't just go in and free them, but they figure out strategies to capture these people. And they teach the local police in those countries. And I said, well, how much does it cost to take care of a child, to free one child? And she said, it's about $2,000, $2,500. And I said, well, I'll donate $100,000 in your name to get you started. And it was just spontaneous because I was touched by it. When I did that, people got inspired. This man stood up and he said, I don't have $100,000, but I have $5,000 and I'd like to donate it. So I said, I'll match everybody here as much as you'll do. And then there was this incredibly beautiful moment. We're all in tears because there's a couple thousand people in that particular program, and there was a line of people coming up. I said, well, come on up and just sign a card here of what you'll commit to, and I'll match it. And it took us like 15, 20 minutes to process everybody, and we raised about $500,000. And so it just got things started. And then after that, I reached out to Tim Ballard, one of the co-founders, and got a chance to know him personally. And then I also had the chance to actually go on an operation and witness the incredible work of these men. And I have to say, it was one of the ugliest experiences of my life, and also one of the most beautiful. The ugly part was witnessing human beings, including some of these people that were trafficking their own children, little girls 13 and 14 years old. It's an abomination. It's beyond anything I can imagine. So it was kind of like, I'm emotional about it, obviously. It was shocking to witness the complete lack of humanity in these people who take advantage of these children. And, being close to them, I wanted to beat their face in. I know that sounds pretty horrific, but it's just they hurt children. The part of me is just so wants to protect them. But I knew if I did that, I would obviously destroy the entire operation. So you got to manage yourself. That's the ugly part. The beautiful part was seeing these girls when they were freed, when they got on the bus and they began to realize that they were really free. It was, so much bewilderment and then joy and then awe and then non-belief at first, but just seeing those first moments of freedom, and then also going and visiting. Some of them are able to go home. Some of them, unfortunately, were sold by their own families. And so they're going back to a center where they're going to be reintegrated. And the people there are just so loving and so committed. They're as dedicated as any human beings can be, again, 24/7 to take care of these girls and reintegrate them into a normal life. Well, I love seeing these kids being healed. We were out there playing with them, playing soccer, kicking the ball. And it's fun to see Tim, who's got this unbelievable intensity, and yet he also can be a chameleon like some of the other guys here. He knows how to enter these guys' worlds and twist their brains and basically pull them in so that you can capture them. But then, watching him afterwards, he's as soft as I am, the son of a bitch. He cries, he gets tears pouring down his face. You can just see it's his life mission. And seeing those kids, he calls them his kids because he freed them. He should call them his kids. Was really, really touching. I have a deep love for Tim. He's a really good soul. He's recruited so many good souls around him. So now it's not just Tim, it's this army of men and women who are unbelievably dedicated and incredibly effective. So I shared the whole experience with my wife. I was in tears then. I'm in tears remembering it again now. But I was also inspired by it. Inspired by the intelligence behind this and the heart. When you've got an amazing team of people and you see the power of the strategies that the CIA and other agencies have to be implemented in this area and then to be taught, it's pretty amazing. It's God's work, I know. Again, that can sound corny to some people, but I think somebody's got to do it, and nobody's doing it like these guys that I'm aware of. And so that's why I'm such a supporter of Underground Railroad.
What you just heard from Tony about his experience learning about Operation Underground Railroad and going on an undercover rescue mission is an experience that changed his life forever. His dedication and attention to this cause is because modern-day slavery is an issue that nobody wants to think or talk about. It's the worst part of humanity, and it's hiding in plain sight. All too often, people turn a blind eye to it because it's too unbearable to even think about. When you hear about it on the news or see it in a movie, most people turn it off because it's simply too hard to imagine a child of your own, a sibling, a niece or nephew, or godchild in such a situation. It's difficult and it's dark, and most people don't want to face the darkness. Today, there are over 2 million children enslaved worldwide in sex trafficking. Human trafficking brings in an estimated $150 billion annually, and it's the fastest growing criminal enterprise on the planet. To illustrate just how big that is, imagine this. With the money made in human trafficking every year, you could buy every Starbucks franchise in the world, every NBA team in the nation, and every Target store across the globe. And this isn't just an issue in other countries. Human trafficking in America is among the worst in the world. In fact, the United States is ranked as one of the top 3 nations of origin for victims of human trafficking, with children in foster care, homeless youth, undocumented immigrant children, and those with substance abuse problems especially at risk. Over 300,000 of America's young population is considered at risk for sexual exploitation, with nearly 200,000 incidents occurring in the U.S. every year. Sadly, the United States